Imagine a plant standing in your garden right now. It towers over your head, reaching 7 feet into the sky. It has massive silver leaves that look like ancient armor, and it possesses a beauty that feels almost prehistoric, as if it survived the Ice Age just to meet you. Now compare that majestic image to the celery sitting in your refrigerator. The supermarket sells you that celery for $3. It is green, it is watery, and quite frankly, it is weak. If you forget to water it for 2 days, it wilts and gives up. Most people, when they see the giant silver plant I just described, think it looks like a wild, mutated celery. But if you call this plant celery, you are underestimating it. Its name is Cardoon. It is not just a vegetable, it is royalty. This is the wild, undomesticated father of the Globe Artichoke. While the modern food industry is busy selling us expensive detox juices made of sugar and water, the Cardoon has been standing there largely ignored by the masses. Yet it holds the secret to supporting your liver health far better than any celery stick you have ever bought. But here is the catch. You will likely never find it in your local grocery store. In fact, in some parts of the world, authorities have labeled it a problem simply because it commits the ultimate sin against industrial agriculture. It refuses to be controlled. Listen to me closely. The algorithm usually hides videos about plants that make you independent. If you are tired of the sweet lies and want the bitter truth, please leave a like on this video right now. It is not for my vanity. It is a signal to the system that we are awake. Now, to understand the gravity of this loss, we must look back to an era when this uncontrollable nature was not seen as a threat, but as a treasure. We need to return to the dinner tables of Rome in the 1st century AD. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder documented this plant in his encyclopedias, noting that in Carthage and Cordoba, the cardoon was a cash crop commanding a higher price than almost any other vegetable on the market. For thousands of years, the Greeks and Romans consumed this plant because they understood a fundamental biological truth that we have forgotten. Bitter foods are essential for health. But over the centuries, a shift occurred. A trade-off was made. Farmers began to selectively breed the cardoon. They noticed the plant produced a beautiful purple thistle flower at the top, and they decided to focus entirely on that flower. Through generations of selective breeding, they created a new plant with larger flowers and smaller spines. The result of that manipulation is what you know today as the Globe Artichoke. The cardoon is the wild ancestor. The artichoke is the domesticated descendant. The artichoke became famous, a luxury vegetable marketed globally. But in this process of domestication, the plant lost its inherent strength. Any gardener who has tried to grow artichokes knows they can be fragile. They require specific climates, constant watering, and heavy feeding. They are dependent on the farmer. But the cardoon retained the resilience of its ancestors. It requires almost zero human intervention. It sends its taproot over 4 feet deep into the soil to find its own water source. It thrives in poor soil where delicate crops would perish. And regarding food production, the difference is massive. While an artichoke plant might yield a few small flower buds per season, a single cardoon plant produces huge bunches of massive fleshy stalks. One plant can provide over 20 pounds of nutrient-dense food every winter. So why did modern agriculture promote the weaker descendant and abandon the stronger ancestor? The answer is simple logistics. The artichoke is uniform and fits neatly into a shipping crate. The cardoon is wild, irregular, and enormous. It does not fit into the industrial supply chain. But by prioritizing logistics over life, the industry didn't just leave behind a vegetable. They walked away from a powerful natural medicine. The reason the Romans valued this plant was not just for its taste, but for its chemistry. The massive stems of the cardoon contain a specific compound that performs a function your liver is desperate for. That compound is called Cynarin. Scientifically, it is known as a hydroxycinnamic acid, and it is one of the most powerful liver-supporting agents found in the plant kingdom. To understand why this matters, think of your liver as the oil filter in your car. It traps toxins and pollutants. But unlike a car filter, you cannot just take your liver out and replace it when it gets clogged. Instead, the body has a self-cleaning mechanism called bile. Bile is the body's natural detergent. It dissolves fats and washes toxins out of the liver. If you do not produce enough bile, your liver becomes stagnant. This is where the Cardoon outperforms everything else in your garden. Cynarin stimulates the gallbladder to pump more bile, essentially helping your body flush its own filter. Now compare this to the modern trend of drinking celery juice. Celery is mostly water and fiber. Great for hydration, but not a powerhouse medicine. Comparing celery to Cardoon is like comparing a water pistol to a fire hose. We all have that friend who spends a fortune on organic celery juice. Do not argue with them. Just share this video with them. Tell them it might save their wallet, and more importantly, it might save their liver. And while the related artichoke also contains Cynarin eating, it is incredibly inefficient. You steam the flower and scrape a tiny bit of meat off the leaves, throwing away 90% of the plant. With the Cardoon, we eat the massive stalks. In terms of nutritional density, one Cardoon plant provides the equivalent value of 50 artichokes. It is a powerhouse of phenolic compounds designed by nature to protect the body. Yet while we pay premium prices for a single artichoke, the Cardoon grows for free, often ignored on the side of the road. However, this rugged independence is exactly what makes it controversial today. If this plant is so powerful, why do some governments label it as a noxious weed? I need you to do a quick investigation. Search your local laws. Is the Cardoon illegal in your state or county? Please report your findings in the comments below. Let us build a map of where we can safely grow this giant. The answer to the ban lies in its survival strategy. In the eyes of nature, invasive simply means successful. The reason the Cardoon thrives in the wild valleys of California is because of its root system. While your lawn grass has roots that are 2 inches deep, the Cardoon sends a taproot deep into the bedrock, finding water that no other plant can reach. It also has a brilliant survival trick. In the heat of the summer, the plant goes dormant. It looks dead. The leaves dry up and turn brown to conserve energy. But as soon as the winter rains return, while everything else is freezing, the Cardoon explodes with life growing 6 feet in a matter of weeks. This aggressive success is why modern agriculture dislikes it. It occupies land that is supposed to be empty. However, for the home gardener, this resilience is a gift. To grow this outlaw in your own garden without it taking over you, simply treat it like a tree, not a vegetable. Give it space, and realize that this plant is armed. The wild varieties are covered in spines. Modern gardeners hate spines. They want everything soft and easy. But in the wild, those spines protect the precious water and medicine inside from grazing animals. A plant without spines is a plant that has surrendered its defense. But there is a way to tame this wildness without destroying it. Once you have grown your giant, you face one final challenge: the kitchen. If you walk out to the garden, cut a stalk, and bite into it like celery, you will be disappointed. It will be incredibly bitter. That bitterness is the medicine. That is the Cynarin. But to turn it into a gourmet dish fit for an emperor, you have to perform a little bit of kitchen alchemy known as blanching. The ancient farmers understood that sunlight creates chlorophyll, and chlorophyll creates bitterness. So about 3 or 4 weeks before you harvest, go out to your plant on a dry day. Gather the large leaves together like closing an umbrella. Wrap the entire stalk in burlap cardboard or heavy paper and tie it securely. You are essentially blindfolding the plant. Left in the dark for 30 days, the stalks will turn from green to a creamy white. The sharp bitterness will vanish, replaced by a sweet, nutty flavor that tastes like a concentrated artichoke heart. Boil these white stalks with a squeeze of lemon juice to keep them tender. Then fry them, bake them with cheese, or add them to stews. It is a meal that implies patience and knowledge. 2 things you cannot buy in a restaurant. Growing Cardoon is more than just gardening. It is an act of reclaiming our independence. Every time you harvest a stalk from this perennial giant, you are opting out of the industrial food system. You are choosing a plant that is wild, strong, and independent over a vegetable that is weak, watery, and expensive. You are choosing the father over the son. The world is slowly forgetting this kind of ancestral knowledge. They want us to be consumers, not producers. But here in the Ancestral Garden, we are archiving the old ways. If you want to be part of this resistance, and if you want to be notified the next time we unlock a forgotten plant, make sure you are subscribed. The gate to the garden is always open, but only for those who are looking for it.